Have you ever stopped to think about the word okay? It's probably the most understood word on the entire planet. From a remote village in the Amazon to the bustling streets of Tokyo, you can say okay, and people will get it. But where did this superword even come from? It feels so modern, so simple, yet its story is surprisingly weird, a little bit nerdy, and has everything to do with a 19th century joke that just wouldn't quit. Let's rewind the clock to the 1830s, specifically to Boston. This was a time when young, educated city dwellers, the hipsters of their day, had a quirky inside joke. They loved to intentionally misspell words and then abbreviate them. It was their version of internet slang, like saying LOL or BRB, but way more complicated. They de-write things like KY for no use instead of no use, or OW for all right instead of all right. It was a trendy, playful way to show you were in the know. On March 23, 1839, a newspaper editor named Charles Gordon Green, working at the Boston Morning Post, decided to get in on the fun. While editing a short, sarcastic article, he used the abbreviation OK next to the phrase all correct, but he spelled it all correct. OLLKORICT. Get it? OK. It was just another one of these silly abbreviations, meant to be a fleeting joke. It probably should have vanished, just like KY and OW, a forgotten piece of 19th century slang. But then, something unexpected happened: politics. A year later, in 1840, the presidential election was heating up. The incumbent president, Martin Van Buren, was running for re-election. Van Buren had a nickname, Old Kinderhook, because he was from Kinderhook, New York. His supporters, looking for a catchy slogan, noticed the new slang term OK. They had a brilliant idea. They formed OK clubs all across the country. Their rallying cry became OK is OK. It was a fantastic double entendre. It meant Old Kinderhook is all correct, or, in modern terms, Old Kinderhook is all right. Suddenly, OK was everywhere. It was on banners, in newspapers, and shouted at political rallies. It went from a niche Boston joke to a national political slogan almost overnight. The phrase became so popular that Van Buren's opponents even tried to flip it against him. They started creating their own negative meanings for OK, like out of cash, out of credit, or my personal favorite, awful conspiracy. The fight over the meaning of OK became a proxy war for the entire election. Now, here's the ironic twist. Martin Van Buren, Old Kinderhook, lost the election. His presidency was not, in fact, OK, but the word itself, it won. Big time. Thanks to the presidential campaign, OK had spread like wildfire across the United States. Everyone knew it, even if they didn't know its silly all-correct origin. But how did it go from being an American political catchphrase to a global phenomenon? The next big boost came from a brand new invention, the telegraph. When the telegraph was introduced in the 1840s, operators needed a simple, clear, and unambiguous way to confirm that they had received a message. OK was perfect. It was short, easy to tap out in Morse code, and hard to mistake for anything else. The letters O and K have very distinct patterns. So, telegraph operators started using OK as the standard acknowledgement. As telegraph lines crisscrossed the globe, OK traveled with them, becoming an essential part of business and communication worldwide. From there, its journey just continued. In the early days of the telephone, operators would use OK to confirm connections. So, let's recap this wild journey. It starts as a joke among Boston's elite. It gets hijacked by a presidential campaign. It's then adopted by a revolutionary new technology, the telegraph, which spreads it across the planet. And finally, it's cemented into our digital lives through computers. It's an incredible story of how something small, silly, and seemingly insignificant can evolve to become one of the most powerful and universal tools of human communication. There have been other theories over the years, of course. Some thought it came from the Choctaw Native American word okay, which means it is so. Others suggested it came from a West African language brought over by enslaved people. There was even a theory about a shipping clerk named Obadiah Kelly who initialed crates with OK. But the all-correct story is the one with the strongest historical evidence. A documented paper trail leading right back to that 1839 newspaper. The next time you casually say OK, or text it to a friend, or click that button on a pop-up window, take a second to appreciate its bizarre and fascinating history. You're not just confirming something, you're participating in a linguistic tradition that's almost 200 years old. Born from a joke, raised by politics, and spread by technology. It's proof that language is a living, breathing thing, full of strange twists and happy accidents. What started as a chuckle in a Boston newsroom is now the universal word for everything is all right. And that's more than just okay. That's amazing. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the surprising histories of everyday things. See you next time.